had ever competed at the University of Dubuque. Just this year, I took the chance to help our track and field team understand why our first meet is named the Sol Butler Invitational, and it's really to honor the tradition and the accomplishments that he achieved throughout his time as a student athlete here from 1915 and 1919. But I think what's important to understand is really his story, because of how incredible that story is. He was born in Oklahoma, and his father was actually born a slave in 1842. His father fought in the Civil War and took the last name Butler from General Butler, whom he admired very much. The family was able to escape slavery, and then they settled in Wichita, Kansas, and ultimately in Hutchinson, Kansas in 1909, where Sol competed for his freshman, sophomore, and junior years of high school. As a freshman in high school, Sol was a starting halfback for his high school football team and truly led his team in football and on the track. As a sophomore, he led Hutchinson High School to a runner-up finish at the state track meet and broke the state record in the 100-yard dash. In 1913, he dazzled spectators as a junior in high school, and at the district meet took 6 first places, broke 5 meet records, and unofficially broke a world record in the 50-yard dash. As a senior, him and his brother Benjamin followed their high school track coach to Rock Island, Illinois. In his senior year is where he really stepped out and did some incredible things. He competed at Northwestern University in the state meet as the only athlete from their high school, and at that meet set 1 meet record, tied a world record, and led the team all by himself to a 4th place team finish at the state meet in Illinois as a senior. Some pretty incredible things, for an athlete at that time.
Following his time in Rock Island, Butler was introduced to the University of Dubuque by his minister. He ended up enrolling there and won 12 letters in basketball, track and field and baseball, and football, where he played quarterback, halfback, fullback, and he also kicked. Butler was part of UD's most lopsided victory in school history, a 125-0 win in which he scored 31 points. He also led the school to 3 Hawkeye Conference titles from 1915 through 18. Butler's standout track and field career included a memorable performance at the 1919 Penn Relays. He won both the long jump and the 100-yard dash. His winning jump of 24 feet 8 inches made him the favorite going into the 1920 Olympics in Antwerp. However, those games had to be moved back 4 years because of World War I. An injury to his tendon going into that competition forced him to jump only about 21 feet, which was a tremendous disappointment for Butler. However, later in the year, he won the prestigious AAU meet with a jump of over 24 feet.
Sol Butler's professional football career was actually just as amazing as his track and field career. He played in the NFL for 4 seasons, from 1923 to 1926. Originally played for the Rock Island Independents, where in his first appearance they actually beat the Chicago Bears. He was sold by the Independents to the Hammond 11 for $10,000 for them to take over his contract. He finished his NFL career for the Canton Bulldogs. He played alongside Jim Thorpe, who actually started at quarterback in 1926 for the Canton Bulldogs, where he was going to play in front of the largest crowd ever in NFL history, 40,000 people, against the New York Giants. And the New York Giants actually refused to let their team take the field unless they withdrew their black quarterback. With his experience playing against the New York Giants, where an all-white roster wouldn't take the field because the Canton Bulldogs named him as a starting quarterback as an African-American, Sol really did many great things for African Americans in breaking down barriers in sport. And if you think about the timeline and put it in perspective, this is 16 years prior to Jesse Owens winning a gold medal. And you think of such a landmark experience like that, Sol Butler was doing these things 15 to 20 years prior. He even played in the majors in baseball, where he actually, in 1925, while he was an NFL player, pitched 7 complete innings and had an ERA of 1.2. And so from college to professional sports in football and baseball, there were a lot of accomplishments that he achieved that a lot of people didn't want to see done by an African American at that time. After his playing career, he went on to be a recreational director for recreational sports in inner city Chicago. Along with being a recreational director and working with many different sports organizations as an adult, Sol Butler was also a businessman. And unfortunately, where this incredible story comes to a tragic end was in 1954. At one of his establishments, he was protecting two of his female patrons and was shot in cold blood. So a story that has so many incredible things, to recognize and remember. And truly, as we celebrate 90 years for the Iowa Conference, Sol Butler was one of the best athletes in the Iowa Conference, and certainly the best athlete to ever compete here at the University of Dubuque. And his story is something that we need to always try and remember, as he's made a big impact for sports. And as we said, long before Jesse Owens won his gold medal, this is a man who was the first African American to play quarterback for 4 years in college, and someone who's done great things for the sports, done great things for UD, and certainly done great things for the Iowa Conference. So a great story in Sol Butler, and somebody we're certainly proud to call us part of.